I did that too.
Yeah, you know.
But the real well, I did the same thing. I bought a big power, put a full size power, and I had to go have it all done for it. So.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for that.
I was eating.
So what I thought I could do is I could register that she one carries they went possibly. Now it's like a 5 more years. Yeah, but they still have to be getting more like. I'll get it to you next week. If I get it over, I mean, I don't do my We're gonna start our meeting, pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with roll call. Robert May is here. Michael Fritz is here. Greg Dewalt is not here. Alice is here. Derek's here. Dave Eggert is here. Steve Dial is here. Corey Zana, the mayor, is here. Pamela Stevens, engineer, is here. Susan Eggert, borough secretary, is here. D. Michael Bentham, Reverend, is here. Warren Lubinow is here, and Joe London, Esquire, is here. Council minutes. We have our minutes from our November 9, 2022 Borough Council meeting. Are there any revisions, corrections, alterations, or can the minutes be approved as presented?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second. Motion has been moved and seconded to move the minutes as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Approval and payment of bills. Before you see payable of bills from the general fund, we have a total of $139,780.39. From the sewer fund, $28,241.42. From liquid fuels fund, $6,713.34, and no expenditures from the fire tax fund. Is there any questions, or can the bills be paid as presented?
Motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second. Motion's been moved and seconded to pay the bills as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Approval of the treasurer's report. Before you'll see our fund balances as of November 30th. From the general fund, we have $469,476.47. The reserve account is $126,159.89. We have our fire tax fund. We have only $1,651.52. Sewer fund is $167,605.76. Liquid fuels has $253,599.14. And the public works garage grant account has $408,048.37. Is there a motion to accept and file for audit the consolidated treasurer's report and public works garage grant treasurer's report for November 2023?
So moved. Second.
Motion been moved and seconded for approval of the treasurer's report. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Public comment. We have any public comment during the meeting, please chat in and we'll stop and circle back for that comment. Consultant report, borough engineer.
Very quiet again, but after I issued my report, Nelson and I did work on updating the letter for the Molnar property. There were still some outstanding issues, including the lack of the zoning hearing decision being placed on the plans. So we're hoping that this would be the last round and plan would be approved. They could move forward with their building permit. So that's the hope. Floodplain ordinance, I know we talked this time of year with the weather and everything, so I'm not pushing it to probably March. Yeah. So just so you know, but it is on my to-do list, and I'm working with Allison on it. And I did get on the municipal garage, I did get this one-page flow report, and we were going to get.
Can't find it. They can't find the rest of it.
The one page that I did receive did not have sufficient information for me to make a determination on if the one-page sewer report was enough to risk not doing the board. So
I think the comment earlier this evening on the email that Joan sent out. Couple things, like, do we know if we go through with that, does the grant money pay for that?
yeah, I think so.
Well, I
Or
hope
there are
that,
certain things that,
as long as it's within the budget of what was originally submitted for the particular category. And it may or it may,
I don't have a copy of the grant, so I can't say.
yeah, I don't remember what
and
you had in your.
I'd rather not put the cart before the horse. I would like to see an agreement in place before we spend any kind of money.
The cost is $6,200, I believe.
6,200.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, but see, I hear what you're saying, but I just see it a little bit differently. If the area is not suitable, it makes no sense to have an agreement long-term with a month.
Okay, I'm gonna use my 43 years of construction in this. Looking at prior buildings, looking at the site. It's about a 5-foot cut fill using quality compactable fill. This thing can't fit.
We're gonna actually have to cut 5 foot there,
You're gonna have an add-on about 5 foot of
or
water.
you're gonna add
Yes.
material onto
So
it.
you're gonna strip off, but there's a balance if you, I think we'll shoot it with a laser, but
Yeah.
when you look at it, and it's not just the footprint of the building, it's about 5 feet. I don't see anything there that remotely gets my attention. And I would not be opposed to, and this might be the scary part for some, not spending that money and not doing the borings and using that $6,200 toward the construction sites, sidewalk, stuff like that. I don't want to comment on the neighbor, what they did not do in the building next door. That's, again, I don't see anything there that really forces us to want to do that. That's just my experience of it. I know engineering always is different. I know.
My seal out there. No, I'm not. Then you understand. I
Understand,
understand.
dude.
I'm protecting the borough, so my recommendation is still to do a soil investigation. Unless they can find the rest of the report. So we can take a look.
Yeah. I think too, if you were into like public financing, you went to the bank for construction loan, and that was your policy, they wouldn't let you go forward without soil boring. So, so I'm sort of picking out what normal, I'll say industry standards are, but that may not be true. Maybe more standard business type of procedures are for something like that.
And believe me, I'm not one for cutting corners and I don't look at it that way. Professionally, maybe, but
Yeah, I also,
I don't want to spend, I don't think we should spend any money before we have it.
I wasn't really thinking we were gonna be spending money from the grant block, we were gonna end up spending money out of our capital reserve.
So
And
they're
then-
gonna share in this.
And at some point, all those funds that weren't, brick and mortar funds, were gonna be wrapped into the monthly rent. That way, we could figure everything out, that would be amortized over 30 years or something like that. So I thought maybe that was a better way to go, so you didn't have to have consensus back and forth every time you wanted to do something. It all goes forward, we pay it, this is what it's gonna cost now per month, and here's where it all came from.
Again, that requires an agreement.
Yeah, when you finally have rent, yeah.
It requires an agreement.
Yeah, Bob and I had a meeting as to what the contents of an agreement should be, and I'm requesting a meeting with Attorney Clements, so we're working on kind of parallel tracks here.
See, the other problem I have too is, and once again, just because of Exeter and the sewer plant, I don't want to go down and sign a lease with Avon unless we have some out that they decide to sell or someone does that, we have first right to buy that property.
Yeah, well, I think what you're saying for, it's not necessarily you signed the lease as much as we've agreed on a lease.
Oh, well,
Once you have a document, you might not have signed it, but you've got a document you both agreed to pending certain things.
Yeah.
You could do it that way. Question for Mike, you said 5 feet of, is that like 2.5 feet cut, 2.5 feet fill?
No.
Or is it 5 feet?
Without any.
Yeah, I just was
uh,
curious.
sanitary.
If the site is 5 foot
And we're
difference.
talking, I'm orientate myself here, if you're talking from, I'll say northwest to southeast,
Mhm.
the high point to the low point.
Yeah.
It's 5 feet.
Yeah, so,
It's
but,
close.
but if you're
Depending
gonna,
on the size of
if
the
you're gonna
building.
cut down, if there's a differential of 5 feet,
Mhm.
you're gonna fill in one side and cut in the other. And
Yeah, you have to
reach
make,
a
you have
balance.
to make a cut on the high end, you can't
Right.
just lay over.
So the cut might only be 2.5 feet or something, and the fill might be 2.5 or 3 feet. It's not
Again,
full.
it's
You're
not,
gonna
yeah,
bring-
it's
Yeah.
a cumulative measurement.
Right.
I have a transit.
I got a laser, I mean, it's.
But see, that becomes even more complicated.
Transit?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
I burger transit. Yeah.
Again, it's not, and it's not so much the amount of the cut and fill. It's the lay of the land, prior construction,
But
the use of quality compactable fill.
But see, there's the other problem, by doing the soil boring, you can at least see what the compaction is, if what we're gonna cut and fill is suitable for that. Now you're talking about compaction, which is another cost, I have a guy out there with the troxel nuclear density gauge. Then if we have to bring fill in, there's a Pennsylvania law for clean fill, that we're gonna have to have fill tested or certified that it's clean.
It's already certified when it comes out of the forest.
Well, that's stone, I meant dirt, I thought you meant
No, I'm talking
fill with stone.
crushed concrete, anything that's good quality compactable fill, that you get the maximum compaction out of. That's what I meant by, I'm not talking dirt,
Okay,
I'm not talking dirt,
Called structural fill.
structural fill, yeah.
a question for Joan, in your negotiations with Mount Penn, are they looking at it as a rent, as a tenant?
That's how we're going to treat it.
They haven't seen,
So that, they've agreed, they
haven't seen it yet.
Right, I thought there were some points with,
They
I
haven't
thought
seen
there
it
were points with Bob as to what is to go in there. I was first thinking getting times and dates for soil testing, but it's the will of council as to whether we go through with soil testing or not.
yeah, we got a letter from them, from the board, no one really signed it, and said, you know, if you guys are gonna do this, we want right to have our engineer review everything and do this and do that. And I said, no, I said, we're gonna lease part of their land, we're gonna make improvements, they get no engineer review, they get nothing. We're a tenant, we get to make the improvements, that's what I want, a clear and simple lease. Not one where they now have to overlook everything.
Who's they?
Well, Ava and their engineer, who's H. David Miller from Entech. And that name just starts my blood to boil too. So that's one of the reasons I don't think that's prudent. So,
Ooh, H.J.
So if the situation was reversed and we were building this and they had the grant.
right.
And they were gonna build it in the borough of St. Lawrence. And they said, you have no right.
If I'm gonna lease them a piece of our, borough land, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. That's how most leases are right now. You know, either a triple net lease or a single fee lease. Whoever makes the improvements, they get to make the improvements, whatever, they're, you know, and then they eat them or walk away from them. You know,
Yeah, you don't know whether they have any objections to this.
now, their meeting's on the 21st, I was gonna saunter on over there if I'm in town and, you know, introduce myself and then take the beating or not, so, you know. Cause it appeared to me they have a completely different thought process, you know, and frankly, I don't see why they have to approve engineering wise, whatever we do. We have a professional engineer, we're gonna have stamped drawings. Why are we, oh, they wanted us to pay for all their lawyer fees, all their engineering fees and everything to do with this. And I said, no, this was not how it was presented to us from Mount Penn. I thought this was all sort of like handshake already agreed upon. And now we're suddenly paying all this. If they don't want to lease this to us, this is like saying, oh, we faxed you a piece of paper, you have to pay for the fax machine now. You know, they should, if they don't want to agree to a lease agreement as part of normal business, that's a whole nother thing. You
This
know,
is why I don't want to put any money for this agreement.
well,
And I believe in share and share alike. I don't think we should be we're not in a position to fund this from now. Say, oh, we'll pay for the boring and we'll just get it back in the rent. So
oh, you want to see if they're going to pay as we go?
if the powers to be requires through the borings and $6,000, their share is 3. Our shares.
The other thing I was I kept
That's just-
hearing.
That's business.
Sorry, Michael, I kept hearing about going to Rozzy, did I get the name right? From
That has already happened. It's already
Oh, yeah.
weeks ago.
And
Mark
how much
runs.
more, and how much more
He
money?
applied for, put a request in for $50,000.
An additional 50,000.
As of, just a few weeks ago, when and my text to Mount 10 was, trying to garner support over here, and we're not making any friends, we're looking for the balance there. Because I asked him, I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. I know, and if you want to keep this thing moving forward, we need to get the rest of that report, and it was the next day. It must be buried in the archives, must have to go through boxes and stuff. Okay. That puts us here.
Who's the first page of the report from? Who's the engineer or the soil company or the drilling company? Can we just go ask them for it? They can contact whoever the client was and release it to us? And if it was accepted by Ava or Central Berks at a public meeting, it's actually a public document.
There's no list. Have you seen it, Bob?
No, I think I
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the extent of the page of the report. There's no letterhead or anything on.
Once again,
It's the conclusion.
if we can't, if Ava has a different concept than what I was led to believe, I thought like this was already a done deal. None of the attorney fees or anything was ever brought up first. None of, agreements amongst parties or property owners was ever included in the grant money. So I just assume that's our out of pocket costs, to get it up. Which is, typically how builders do things. Yeah.
Mike, I have 2 questions to ask. I don't know if you'll know the answer, but just, will we need flood insurance down there? I know sometimes that gets.
That area outside the flood.
You only need flood insurance if you're financing some sort of bank or something like that. If you
It's far enough and not high enough from the Antietam Creek.
It's not even permit plans for.
I don't think so.
And the other question is, we know they're in active merger discussions at Mount 10 and the lower houses, and I know it does take a couple years. Yeah, they're actively, it's on everyone's agenda.
But I don't think they've had any formal talks, but yes, I think I heard something to that.
Yeah, I believe that they did. But things change and they go back and forth. So I don't know, I guess lower houses would have to be involved in this. If there's no merger would.
Yeah, I mean, what we would do, or what we would do with any lease or any agreement would be that it runs with the land and it's binding on successors and assigns, and that would include a successor merged municipality. So they would merge subject to a lease or other agreement.
Okay.
And it would be recorded, this would be recorded, or a memorandum of it would be recorded, so there's no question of notice.
Okay.
So just like us, Joe, if we have a lease to go participate in a municipal building somewhere, it can only be for a period of 3 years?
No, this is not the kind of thing, this is a governmental, I mean, it's.
Intergovernmental agreement?
An intergovernmental agreement, it's also, the kind of function where you can, bind successor boards, or else you would never be able to enter into
Right.
any type of debt, any type of construction contract for your own building, because of that, of course, it binds future councils. It's a governmental versus proprietary, distinction as to whether you can bind the future board, and this would be the kind of function where you could.
So I guess we're at an impasse right now. So.
Well, the real question is, do you want to move? I was just trying to move forward and show some progress since the last 8 months, because since April. And at least this gets some progress. Plus it either answers or doesn't answer questions at the, join and, junction in the road. So
I was still on the path we're on.
they do nothing bad.
No. You have a draft of the agreement, right?
I don't have a draft of the agreement, I have what I would put in the agreement, so I could get it draft together, and then, but I have everything that we need for the agreement. And I can share, you know, I can certainly share that with council, and you can approve it, and then I can send it to my principal. If that's what council wants,
I think that would be the next step.
okay? If
That's a question.
That's agreeable to council,
You know, we could get to, vast a lot of information if I end up going over there on the 21st, you know. Same thing, we could either understand exactly what they want and non-negotiable or not, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know that you do, but we know exactly what we are asking for in the agreement.
For
We
what?
haven't heard
Who, AIMA?
it. No,
No,
us,
Oh, I don't,
council.
I don't
And
think.
that's just what we said, it's, what's in the draft.
What's your, do we have topics, you
the
know,
topics, the topics are the topics that we discussed as far as.
right,
how this is going to work, how that they would pay a certain lease payment per month.
oh, this is about Penn, but we were talking about AIMA, is that your question, or were you talking about Penn?
Both, we
So this
need
is-
both.
Oh, I have
of
no
those-
idea about Mount Penn, that's, you know,
Okay. I thought
that's
you were-
down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, as far as APA, we know what we need to have in the agreement with APA, it's a ground lease.
yeah.
I mean, that's what it is, it's a very basic, long-term ground lease.
you know, we're gonna get, pay them and call like $1 a year, you know, I'll go over and hand them a $1 bill.
Right,
You know.
that's what it is, I mean, you pay nominal consideration for a 99-year ground lease for a building, and that is the concept that I have for the agreement with APA.
so we would have to have an agreement with Dave before we can even entertain that.
No, we can pursue it on parallel track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's do that.
I mean, with the understanding that there's nothing in the pre-contract negotiations that binds us. There's simply negotiations for us.
And there probably will be.
Yeah,
And if you guys have already had some conceptual ideas talking about Penn, throw them to Joan, you know, to throw, you know, the draft of it. You know,
Yeah, well, I mean, we basically went through kind of how we might lay out the building and
Yeah.
things like that. We only had the one meeting,
But we can do that in
might say a
parallel.
lot more.
yeah, you can, I think.
Yeah.
Can and should do that parallel.
Do you need authorization in the motion?
Now,
see, I was just worried if somehow this whole thing sours with AIMA, we're now without a place to build. Or a selected place to build, let's say that. So that's why I saw that as, you know, job one.
does Mount Penn need an agreement with Dave?
Yeah.
Not if we're the owner of the building.
No, I think that would defeat the whole purpose, yeah.
Because we're the ones building the building.
Well, I didn't know because they're a tenant on that property.
Yeah, no,
Right,
they're basically-
But there could be any theoretically any other tenants, so no. I mean, the only thing that would be in a lease with Mount Penn is that they have to follow all AIMA rules and regulations for the use of the property.
And that's the problem. That's
Right.
anybody who's in or on that. property.
Right, and if Mount Penn, or if they sign a lease to another municipality, or municipal entity, they would be bound by the same rules.
Otherwise, I don't have anything else in the report.
Thank you for the concise report.
Wow.
I won't be here, but I will send you my report. As Jen and I are talking, we're trying to figure out how many bodies we need for the reorganization. On the even years of the borough government, so 2024, 2026, 2021, so every even year there, that's when they agree with this. It's the easiest way for us to remember.
Yeah. And I will do my best to get here for reorganization, but being that I have at least 5 within the time frame of 5:30 to 7:30.
Don't even bother, you know, on your way home, if you want to stop by, the lights are on, you know, stop.
It used to be very easy for me when I was a resident. I would tell them at the office, like, I'm gonna start out Tilton Township at 9 o'clock. Any place during the day you want to send me is fine, as long as I finish up at St. Juan. Now, it's all a bit more neutral now because I live in locations not quite as convenient.
But yeah, if I'm not here.
Yeah, if you're not here, don't worry about
Yeah.
We'll be reappointed, right?
it. Yeah, pretty sure of that. Listener, do you have any more to report?
Yes, I do. I have ordinance number 456, which was advertised in the Reading Eagle, on November 13th, November 20th, and November 27th. Because it's a tax ordinance, it requires 3 advertisements, and that is an annual EMS tax of 0.5 mils on all real property to support the Lower Alsace Ambulance Association. If this tax is not paid timely, penalty at the rate of 6% per year is added. And then collection is by the Borough tax collector. Borough office.
Any discussion?
Because they don't take the borough.
Any discussion or is it pretty thought out, so we can entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 456, EMS tax ordinance effective 1/1/2024, a 0.5 mil real estate tax.
Second. Motion been moved and seconded to approve the ordinance for the EMS tax. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Any else? Listener?
That's it. I mean, we already had the other item, which would have been under my report.
Gotcha.
Regarding the public works.
Mayor, you're up.
Okay, well, there was no police commission meeting in December. But end of November.
Was there a party? Did they have a party?
No,
Yeah.
not that I
They
know.
did.
No.
What did they-
Look at Rob
They did.
dead. Did you go?
No.
Ah.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
On November 17th, Warren and I attended a breakfast hosted by the Berks County Commissioners in partnership with the Center for Excellence. And I did put a report, there's a report in your packet. The commissioners presented their plan for the hopes for the return of the Schuylkill River Rail Authority, which would be an Amtrak system. And it eventually would take you from Reading to Philadelphia and then onward to Manhattan via passenger train. So they're waiting for funding and things to be approved. They also discussed agriculture in Berks, developments to the Reading Airport and the Berks County Prison. So they mentioned with the loss of the Reading Eagle newspaper, the commissioners were proud to present the county with a magazine called Berks First, and that's sent to every household. But if you did not get one, I believe you have some downstairs on that
On the
table.
free table.
Yeah, so, and then that's all. we have.
What do you mean by the loss of the Red Eagle? We don't have the Red Eagle anymore?
Yeah, that's just the loss of, you know. of
Reporter.
being
Some
a
almost no
reporter.
reporter.
Yeah.
There's no, when was the last time you saw a reporter here?
I mean, I remember, almost always Carol would be here for meetings.
Oh, so they just take like off the wire stories and put it together and public notices where they get all of them.
They occasionally, if something is truly controversial, they'll have it for the city.
Thanks for your report. Department staff reports. Anything from Borough zoning, code? No. Public safety.
I'd like a motion to approve the ongoing declaration of disaster emergency caused by the rain event July 9th.
Extending that for another
For another 30 days.
30 days.
And what does that?
What that does is allows us to apply for like with the USDA,
Okay.
things like that.
And get you out of some bidding requirements.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen when we have a meeting on January 2nd, in 30 days, we won't have our February meeting?
Then you out there for 60 days?
No, it has to be renewed month to month.
Could be made effective January or something.
I don't know.
Well,
230 days.
email us with some sort of answer there, solicitor.
I'm not sure exactly how you would do that. I mean, you might have to call special meetings possibility.
Well, can we let it expire, then declare a new one?
Or
No.
you can declare and then ratify it at the next public meeting, because the mayor declares it the emergency. and you just ratify it at the next meeting, that's a possibility as well.
Could we at the January meeting, on January 2nd, adopt one effective at the end of the 30-day window?
You could probably, yeah, you could probably do that, I mean, it's,
So,
Adopt two of them, in other words.
right.
well,
adopt
no,
one
we'd
and
only
then-
adopt one on January 2nd, because we'd still be in the 30 days from tonight. And, January 13th, make the
Okay,
next
I'll
one
be
effective
free.
January.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
right, it's no less risky than, declaring it and then ratifying and confirm it later, so I think you could do either. I just think there's some things that the laws don't necessarily, consider.
Take into consideration.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
So is there a motion to have to approve an ongoing declaration of disaster emergency caused by the rain event on July 9th?
So moved. Second.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
Also, make a motion to adopt resolution 85, 2023. It's to adopt the county's hazard vulnerability assessment and mitigation plan, which was approved by FEMA, PEMA, all the other alphabet soup.
How many pages is that then?
No, are you already there?
Yeah.
It's under public safety. The hazard mitigation plan was too large for the county to email out. It is available at the DES website on emergency management, if anyone wants to read through it. But
Is this to say our Grant County Commissioners can't email a file that's bigger than X amount of things? I don't understand. There's all kind of share files and stuff like that, and they can't figure a way to send us something?
I downloaded, I have it, we
Okay.
downloaded it,
It's 270 some pages.
it is all the municipalities in Berks,
Yeah,
so it was,
there's a
so
72
if you
of them.
want it.
Yeah, I would like a copy, email me a copy, but.
I don't know if you can.
I
email
will,
them.
No,
I will compress the PDF where you cannot read it, and I will send it to you.
there you go. All right, so I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 85, 2023, the county's hazard mitigation plan.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution 885, which is our hazard vulnerability assessment and mitigation plan update provided by County of Berks. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Public Works, sewer, street, stormwater.
Public Works report is attached. The biggest item of note is our boiler system was converted over to natural gas successfully. It has been running for the last month with no issues. And that's about it.
Anybody know what the going rate is for fuel oil this winter?
I think I got quoted $3.7.
Almost $4 a gallon.
Yeah, it was
$4 a gallon?
$3.
What do we pay next year? Never mind.
It was like 4, it was 7.
I'm just curious. Anything else? Any questions? Not, we'll move on. Finance, discussion of motion to approve the 2024 final budgets for general fund, sewer fund, liquid fuels fund, fire tax fund, and the newly adopted EMS tax fund. You want that in one motion?
Yeah, one motion's fine, you guys already have seen them.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 final budgets for general fund, sewer fund, liquid fuels fund, fire tax fund, EMS tax fund.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to approve our 2024 final budgets. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. And we're looking for resolution 884-2023, fixing the real estate tax rate for the 2024 fiscal year as unchanged at 7.0 mil on the general fund and 0.68 mils on the fire tax fund.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded for resolution 884-2023, fixing the real estate tax rate. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Looking for a motion to authorize Robert J. May to sign the 2024 municipal tax sheet to submit to the Berks County Treasurer's Office for the real estate tax billing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to have the 2024 municipal tax sheet submitted. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Discussion and possible motion to consider allowing credit card payments for the county borough real estate tax bills.
This is Susan, because as tax collector, she has gotten the information and she.
Can we use like eBay or Venmo or
They're telling you what system you have to use, because it actually goes right. They're
To the-
logging into the county. And then they're picking their tax, they're paying their tax bill, so. They don't come here to do it, they have to do it, which I can see people coming in and saying, can you do this for me?
No.
I am personally against doing the credit cards, but it's not my tax money. I find it's gonna be more of a hassle. The fees are all being passed on directly to the taxpayer, which is at least 2.15%. So if you think you're paying your taxes in the discount, you're now paying 0.15% more than you would have paid in the discount. But the fees all get passed on to the taxpayer, so.
The problem I have.
This is not anything you're obligated to do, it's just their county's operating it. And, it's gonna be through all paid. That's who the credit card facility is, all paid. So, now the only other thing is if you go in to pay with a credit card and say you didn't pay last year's taxes or the year before, you can't pay the current year's bill, you have to pay every.
and you can currently do that right now if you walk in.
Now, if you're going to the county, you're using the credit card, you gotta pay everything.
No, I mean, but if someone walked into
Into here.
They
here,
come here, they could pay this year's without having paid last.
that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, but so that's one downfall to it, they would have to pay,
Advice to the
Everything.
tax scoundrels.
no partial payments are accepted, but they're not accepted now, so.
This does
Um,
not have to be decided tonight, it can be decided in January, just before the next.
and then we would have to
tax
set up a whole new bank account, because they're suggesting all credit card payments go into a separate tax collector account, not the one you currently have, just one for credit cards.
Another toaster.
Right, but I see the other problem being, the county may offer, but then someone's gonna say, well, I wanna pay my school tax with the credit card. Yeah, you can't do that, that was only in the county, so there could be some, but it's ultimately, they said it's ultimately up to the tax collector, but I feel it's not my tax money.
Do you get a lot of, do
So,
you get a lot of requests for credit card payments?
maybe 2 or 3.
We have a 99 point something collection rate, we have how
Right
many,
now, I think there's 0.6% of taxes have not been paid. So
how many bills?
there's 8 bills that have not been paid right
Out of 670 something,
now. That's
something like that.
722 bills.
And out of the 722 bills, how many do you think are walk-ins? Because I have no idea, my bank pays mine as a mortgage, whoever owns the mortgage is here,
I would say the goods, probably 60% are mortgage company
yeah,
related.
so they pay them already somehow.
Right. I see, I don't know, I mean, it's up to you.
Should have put 6% unpaid.
Yeah.
The problem I have with the credit card payment is. So to get somebody who's that. Tied up with money, that they've got to pay their taxes with a credit card. Now they're-
For the cash back.
There are some
that
people that
may be.
just prefer,
That may
they're
be.
like.
They're getting airline points.
That's fine,
But-
but still,
But they lost it in the added on to their.
Yeah.
They
And
lost
that
it.
goes the rate now, that rate could go up, the county's gonna negotiate, but they're gonna get at least 2.15%.
I think some of this is forward thinking. Before the pandemic, it was estimated that by 2026, paper checks would go away completely. So there would have to be other kinds of payments. So this may be some sort of awkward way of living into a future where writing a check for things will not be.
That's a great point.
It is the way that they're working towards eliminating tax collectors. That is really what they're trying to do.
So conceivably, somebody, if they we opt into the tax, the credit card payments and taxes. If I chose to go on the site, maybe I want to use my Visa debit card to pay my taxes.
You can do that.
Forget the extra charge.
no, you're still gonna get that extra card.
No matter what, you're paying,
It's just that can be, I'm not worried about it.
and some people feel that.
Yeah.
But now here's the other problem, then they're gonna call and say, well, I paid my tax with the credit card, can you stamp my bill now? So now I gotta go back and look and see, when did that credit card payment post? Then I'm gonna have to, they're gonna have to come in and person if they want to stand, because I'm not handling it. So.
Maybe we should wait.
I'm gonna suggest maybe we
You can
table
look
it.
into this at any time.
Yeah,
You don't have to do it this year for the next tax cycle.
I think we have a pretty good success rate. I think we ought to just hold on and see where it goes.
I mean, I get a couple of requests every year, not many.
yeah, I was gonna suggest maybe just table this to our next meeting when there's a whole new council involved. And then we'll just, let them.
Maybe a new officer.
I mean, I think it's good, but then I see there being all sorts of headaches associated with it, but it's up to you whether you want to let people do it.
Hearing no motion for any type of movement, we'll move on to the next agenda item. Ad hoc Public Works Garage Committee update, anything other than what we discussed?
Nothing.
Hot damn. Committee, commission reports, library, anything to do in the library? Municipal lands? Nothing.
Still there.
Recreation? Nothing. Planning commission? Nothing. Zoning hearing board?
Nothing.
No report. No, any general comments by anybody about anything?
Oh, the joint municipal meeting, as you brought up earlier about, Corey brought up about, the Reading Eagle. Our last meeting was totally dominated by a woman, and I've been sitting here racking my brain trying to remember the organization.
The
Well,
Tumble people?
But it's gonna be, pardon?
Twister, isn't it called?
Twister County?
No, this is an organization in Pennsylvania that is going to provide news, online news at a local level type stuff. They already have a pilot location. They already have it out in State College, taking care of the western part, and they're looking at opening an office of reporters in Berks County. And I'll send you the link to it. But
Imagine Berks.
Yes.
.org.
yeah, imagine, well, no, that's different. It's not Imagine Berks. This is a statewide. I'll email Susan and you can put it in the minutes. But they're
Electronic news.
basically electronic news, but focusing, bringing some reporters in, coming to places like this and trying to augment and work with the Reading Eagle, sharing, but trying to enhance news of what the communities want. And they're going around and having discussions at libraries, things like that. What is it that you're missing now that you would like to see, and what should we be focusing on? And we had one of those, that's what the whole meeting was.
What's their business plan? Who's financing them?
And it's grant money,
Ah, we are.
you know. Yeah, it's and sponsors.
Yeah,
It's sponsors and stuff.
it's like drudge report. for-
Yeah, it's sort of like, and they'll do fundraising, it's sort of like a PBS
Yeah,
type
Wow.
of organization.
interesting.
Yeah, so, and as I say, they were looking, their second satellite location, they're looking to be in Berks County. And this woman has been chartered to set that up. I'll send Susan all the information, her name, the name of the organization, so you can include that in the minutes.
Any other general comments?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I have one real quick. I wanna go-
Uh-oh, Trump by the engineer.
Yeah. Probably all this jargon you're hearing is going right over your head, so, but in the next few months, I'm sure you'll be fine. So if you have any questions, let us know. They're very patient. They're wonderful to work with.
He's lying.
But I didn't want to skip. Walking you.
There's our imaginary public right there.
And
Chairs.
and congratulations, Susan, many years
Yeah.
there, and your retirement to help your family and enjoy those great days. That's priceless. That is priceless. So, good luck. Thank you. So that's it, now Steve.
So, Exeter Township voted to advertise to amend the resolution for the emergency services tax credit to change it from 50 to 100%. So, something to keep in mind, maybe that's something we can do. We always said we follow whatever Exeter Township did.
The current 50% costs.
The real estate, real estate.
The real
estate,
estate, not the EIT.
No,
The real
No,
estate.
just the real estate.
Yeah, right now, we have 4 people and it's around $4,000. So that's
Worth
possible,
of income, yeah,
Yeah.
so income 8,000, maybe.
you know. I wasn't a real big proponent of that last time because, I think everybody should have to pay a little bit of their fair share. So what you're asking for is for certain citizens, because they have other volunteerism that will get free police, free ambulance, free garbage and whatever. So, 50% was sort of like well, yeah, I could probably live with that, but I don't know if I'm on board for like a whole reduction. Only maybe
Okay,
because.
so you're
yeah.
saying if we're giving it to them, we should give it to the police or?
No, what I'm trying to say is, if I was a ordinary 70 or 69-year-old person with a handicap placard, say, how do I get my free taxes? What do I got to volunteer? How can I do that at the fire company? How many hours a week do I have to be at the fire company to do that? What would I do? And blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to see what equity is and inclusion and all those other bull words, how does that all work? I'm lost.
I hear what you're saying.
Right.
You could complain.
I'm not complaining, I'm just saying,
No, not you,
Yeah.
but somebody could say,
Right.
hey, they're
well,
getting.
where's my opportunity to get free taxes?
Where's my
Yeah.
opportunity? Your opportunity is to volunteer to save lives, being out there,
But-
putting your life at risk
Right.
to
But
save lives.
how many hours a week does that become eligible to be eligible for that? That's one of the things, we never discussed that before.
Requirement. Yes, no, there is a requirement of how many hours they have to put in.
Yeah, how many hours a week would you be eligible to be saying, hey, I'm a member, I get to apply for the free, for a waiver of all taxes?
We'd have to look at the.
But it's
Yeah.
not just being a member, you've got to.
Oh, yeah, I understand, yeah, in my mind, I'm probably pays that 8 hours a week, that 8 hours a month, for $2,000, and I could go get a job at $50 an hour and only make $80 a day. And how's that compared to doing something else? Because obviously, I'm not gonna run into fire buildings and stuff like that. Once again, I'm just saying, it seems like you're gonna say, okay, certain individuals, because of their volunteerism, get a waiver of taxes. How is that available to anybody else? My philosophy, coal miner philosophy.
I think the primary,
We have a legal obligation to provide health and safety to our residents.
Agreed.
Yes,
And EMS and fire departments are the key part of that, not somebody who is on low income asking, where's my piece of it?
I didn't say they were low income.
Or, well, you were saying, or somebody on retirement, well, you said they're on pension or whatever.
I said I was 69 years old with a handicap sticker.
With the hand. Yeah.
the primary incentive here is the word to hang on is volunteer.
Right.
And they're trying to put incentives in there to keep the volunteer capacity at a certain level,
Not to go down.
not to go down and take it toward a paid service. Would that be a fair?
So
So,
we just hired 3 full-time employees. We do not want to go down that road. That would be quite expensive to have a full paid department. You don't want to have to pay.
Well, a lot of companies are paid drivers and then the rest of them are volunteers, it's not a full paid department. Around, I'm thinking like Liberty, and others. Yeah.
Amity, Birdsboro. There's a number of companies around that have paid daytime staff.
Right, but still volunteers, right?
With volunteers.
Yeah.
With county department.
With everything I've heard at our meeting with the county commissioners, how many times in the joint municipal meetings, the meeting has been totally taken up by the problem of volunteerism and stuff, of EMS. Whatever we can do, I think another $4,000 to help that situation is well worth it.
We're talking 2 different things here. One, we're talking about what is the total dollar. The other part I'm saying is, what are the requirements for the volunteer in terms of hours? So I can equate in my mind, X amount of hours was X amount of dollars being waived in taxes. And then how do others, is that equitable to anybody else? That was the question.
Yeah, I don't know I can't remember what the requirements were.
But, yeah,
Again, I'd have to look it up. I don't have those numbers in my mind.
well, bring them all next one.
The other key consideration, other municipalities that I've been present in, disabled vets are permitted to also have a real estate.
We have 2 of those in the borough.
Okay, so it's not all the taxes, it's just the real estate.
Right, right.
Because I had to work on a spreadsheet of what we would refund them. But they still paid streetlights or other things, not.
No, I just don't pay anything.
State ones.
Yeah.
So you have
Everything is all rolled into it.
They
Right.
can get free.
The only section we have is fire.
Yeah.
Ours was like real estate millage, streetlight millage.
Yeah, we don't have a street light, we don't have a hydrant.
We
tax.
had- Okay, so that's what the other municipalities had to do that for that purpose. Not that they didn't want to reward the disabled vets, but that way they knew it was just the real estate, and that was the intent, to give them the relief of the real estate, but they were paying for those important services. Just like everybody else.
So I don't say the disabled vets, they don't pay the fire tax or the ends. They don't pay any of those.
Anything that's a real estate
Anything that's a
tax.
real estate.
Right.
So it's pulling the street lights out, doing that as a separate, pulling trash out and actually charging a trash
It's a
bill.
trash bill, correct.
It's pulling everything out that we put in the general fund to make it easier for collection.
Mhm.
It is being not forced, but you have to look at it dollars and cents wise, what you have to start pulling back out of the general fund because of what you're losing as income that is covering very specific services
Correct.
that are in there, like trash.
But again, if you only have 2 residents, it's not, again, it's the borough council's decision on how much monetary. Loss, I'll call it, but the reward.
We call it a waiver, I think we call it a waiver.
Volunteers, and we're also recognizing those disabled vets that they're disabled because they gave their life, and they're disabled.
Well, yeah.
That's very, very important to me.
The other thing with the fire company is it is available to volunteers who work in operations of.
Yeah, they don't have to be, they don't have to be in, they don't.
They don't have to-
It'd be in bunker gear, you don't have to be in bunker gear to get
Right.
the thing.
Right.
But
You
they
have
put their
to-
hours. So they could be selling Christmas trees and they would get credit.
Yeah,
No, there's a list of criteria.
Sure.
Yeah,
I know there's a list. You've
Training
seen it.
hours.
there is a
Well,
little
yeah.
period,
But why would you be in training hours if you're not gonna
I'm
be?
just saying,
Got it.
that's part of the.
Yeah, I understand. Bring us more information.
But I mean, and you have to check all the boxes. in order to-
right, have the hours for.
Yeah, It's not just a,
That's all.
again, it's,
It's all the things to what has to be done. It's very strict objective criteria.
as it should be, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Or we'll move on.
So you're tabling us to go on the agenda.
Well, I asked for more information, he's gonna provide some, so put it on the agenda next, in the whole business, in the recurring business. So public meetings, announcements, all public meetings at Borough Hall, Borough office closed December 25th, January 1st, and the 15th. Borough reorganization and monthly council meeting will be January 2nd at 7:30 p.m. Those who just got reelected, you need to bring in your election certificate, which has the stamp on it. You have to be sworn in by a justice of the district judge or a notary,
Yes.
and then we'll do that, and then
The mayor can. She has to get sworn in.
she has to get sworn in, and then she'll run the meeting, the reorganization meeting, then we'll have our normal monthly meeting after that. Trash recycling, pickups on Wednesday, the 27th and January 3rd, pushing it back a day because of the Monday holidays. No yard waste pickup the first week of January 15th and the 20th. Why is that?
No.
Is that the first of January?
There is pickup. That was a mistake. There is pickup yard waste on January 2nd, but the 15th of January and the 20th of February are Monday holidays, and usually there isn't too much in January or February.
Then why don't we just move that yard waste to the next day like the trash pickup?
Cause you don't want it on.
Because it's on the trash day,
day.
we avoid having yard waste out and trash out because it gets put into the trash.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, cause trash has been delayed, those aren't holidays.
That they regularly
delay
run.
trash.
Yeah, gotcha.
But with January first.
There'll be a lot of trees.
Yeah, which is why we're picking up January second, because they're pushed back a day. For trash is January third, so we're picking up yard waste on
And
January.
of course, if you have your trout run, trash card like I do, and it's now $25 a year. But we're with a grant where it would cost the borough citizens $0, so that's why I'm always annoyed at our.
They didn't tell us.
It's $25 now.
So the newsletter is wrong. Have to fix the news.
I think they just upped it at the last meeting. In years before, I think we used to buy a swath of them and pay them. We just came in and signed off. They won't let us do that anymore.
$5 a piece, I think.
Yeah, yeah, so times will change. That's why we need, that's why we need these ironclad
Have to
contract.
fix the newsletter.
So,
It's
Let me digress about the stained glass window at the library, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll get it.
it's executive.
Yeah, so now I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel issues.
Yes.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
Seconded, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. No, you bail. Probably, solicitor probably should stay. If you don't figure, no, you can go, you can go to solicitor if you want. No, we honestly, I don't anticipate any other items other cheese, and at the end of the meeting.
Here's the stuff.
YouTube back.
I need a motion to come out of executive session.
Motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Motion been moved second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. So we need a motion to accept the resignation of Susan Eggert as Borough Secretary and move to a part-time hourly status at $24.94 an hour. Is there a motion?
I don't know about that.
Oh, you had a motion. Motion been moved and seconded, to accept resignation as Borough Secretary and move to a part-time status. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. We have motion to approve resolution 886-2203 to hire Amanda Musso as of December 18th, 2023, appoint her as a full-time Borough Secretary as of December 25th at an annual wage of $41,500 prorated for 2023.
Yeah, it's 1 week in 2023, she gets paid for it an hourly wage, and that goes to salary in January.
So moved.
Second. Motion moved second to hire Amanda as our Borough Secretary. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, motion passes. Final motion is to approve our 2024 wages as presented, which was in the executive session. I don't want to state those. Do I have to state those? No. No, I won't.
But
So
I'll
moved.
just put as presented.
As presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion moved and seconded to approve the 2024 wages as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Abstain.
So
due to
we all-
conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Got a 5% raise, right?
Yeah.
County doesn't get a raise and you do it in law.
You have to do it in all year.
What were you abstaining from?
Wages review, stuff like that.
You were included in that. So
Yeah.
I'm staying due to conflict of interest.
There a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved.
Second. Motion been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passed. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone.
I want to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to.
Serve proudly, confirming.
You've been around for a while. You are not out of the borough.
Bring cookies.